Welcome to Looking Within, a podcast to help you quiet your mind, settle your body, and see God's presence in your everyday life. I'm Julie. I hope our time together will help you to feel more grounded, whole, and filled with a growing desire to be a conduit of God's love and presence to the world around you. Now, let's begin. This week, a 40-day journey with simplicity began for 29 people in a contemplative practices experience at my church. I have the honor of facilitating this group journey, based partly in work at home using a shared booklet of short readings and practices, and partly in group online gatherings each week. In recent years, things like simplicity and decluttering have gotten lots of attention culturally, viewed as a desirable quality or activity of a centered and grounded life. In a busy and materialistic culture, most acknowledge that achieving things like simplicity in life and possessions is challenging. But why is simplicity so hard? Some say the answer may be that we live a very fragmented existence, and that we live so far from our true center, from God, our divine source of love and life. I would agree with those assessments. The complex, distracted, and fast-paced lives that we tend to live are all outer manifestations of our interior state. We are searching for love, meaning, purpose, security, and a sense of having some control over our lives. We're striving to be centered or grounded. But we might often be looking in the wrong places for what only comes through divine channels, through our connection and relationship with God. With so many choices of what to allow into our daily routines and schedule, do we know how to simplify and declutter? Can we discern what's important or not important to keep in our lives? Let me offer you two related metaphors from agriculture and nature to help us out today. First, you've no doubt heard that expression, separating the wheat from the chaff. Agriculturally speaking, before the grain can be used, the outer husks must be removed. This saying can be applied to our life, reminding us to find things of value and separate them out from things of little or no value. In a simpler, decluttered life, this is a helpful metaphor. Before we become really usable and available to God to bring love and healing into our corner of the world, there are things that we need to let fall away. Before we can live lives of connection and wholeness, some things in our life that are just plain meaningless and distracting must be let go of. The danger of the chaff in our life is its tendency to use up valuable life energy. Chaff can also drag us into repetitive and useless thinking and into our small, ego-driven stories and commentaries about life. The second metaphor is the activity of pruning, often annually performed on trees or bushes, perhaps on some other plants as well. Pruning can at first seem somewhat cruel and damaging, but we know it ends up being just the opposite, allowing trees and plant life to come back even stronger and to blossom into their fullest potential. And now we get to it. Your life and my life. There is undoubtedly both wheat and chaff in each of our lives. Whatever we label as wheat in our life energizes and fills us, helps us to grow as a compassionate human being, and activates whatever we uniquely bring to the table to help heal and love a hurting world. Whatever we label as chaff in our life drains some of our energy, takes up valuable time, distracts us from building deeper relationships with God and people, and makes it more difficult to care for the health of our own bodies, minds, and spirits. During this time together today, we have the chance to do a little checkup on our life. What is it that we might need to prune or let fall away? This takes some conscious work and some mental resolve. But the result is greater health and wholeness, and a greater chance of more fully living into the unique and beautiful person that God has created us to be. Let's think about this during our quiet moments together. In this quiet space and time, I'd invite you to gently close your eyes and to take a few deep breaths in and out, in and out. Hear the sound of the bowl calling you to look within. Let it center you. Let it awaken you to God's presence. As you reflect on your daily life, what is of value to you? What could be pruned or left to fall away? Ponder those questions. I'll be back with you in about 3 minutes. take one more minute to notice what's happened in your heart while you were in the quiet. What insight or intention will you carry forward? End by just being with God, resting in God's loving presence, and letting God enjoy your presence. I'd invite you now to take a few deep breaths in and out. In and out. Hear the bowl sound calling you back to this day. Gently open your eyes, remaining still for a moment longer. I'm by no means an expert on agriculture or garden management, and I've never spoken directly with a plant, but I imagine that threshing grain and pruning trees comes with some initial pain to the plant and an alteration of who it is, as it were. The same would undoubtedly be true for us. The letting go of long-time habits or distractions and the voluntary pruning of things in our life that keep us from being our true and connected self might feel uncomfortable at first and would undoubtedly change us in some way. But the result of our efforts might just lead to a new inner beauty and love about us and to an abundant and calm productivity in all that we do to love and serve the world. Note that these processes require the assistance of a skilled gardener. Let the Spirit be your guide as you examine your life for anything that holds you back from a life that is connected and whole in Christ. Then let the Spirit assist you in any actions you need to take, which can lead to a simpler and uncluttered life that lets the love and light of God freely flow through it for your own benefit and for others. Thank you for making time for your inner self today, for developing and enriching your relationship with God through reflection and discovery. Whatever you've experienced, carry that with you in the coming days. You can find more episodes at our website, Gloria-Day, that's DEI.com/lookingwithinpodcast, or subscribe through your favorite podcast app. If you know someone who might enjoy and benefit from this podcast, share it with them. Your financial contributions make this ministry possible. To give, visit gloria-day.com/giving. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.